Hi, my name is J.W. Stewart. We're at the Worldwide Corals Farm in Orlando, Florida. We're currently at the aquaculture side of the farm. We have 3 750-gallon tanks used for grow out. Today we're going to be looking at system number 12. I'm originally from Vacaville, California. My passion was always to get my degree in marine biology. I moved down to Long Beach, California to get my degree. I had a store for about 2 or 3 years. Started importing corals about 3 or 4 years ago, and it allowed me to travel across the world, see different places, dive different places, just see how it's done before it gets to us, which is a pretty cool adventure. I've known Victor and Lou, I want to say since Macna, Miami, or Fort Lauderdale, where it really was. And they've always been good buddies of mine. I've always seen them at the shows, have a great time. And Victor had been hounding on me for years to come work for him, come work for him, come work for him. And I always, I don't know, Vic, I don't know if I could just get up and move everything, across the whole United States. Well, here I am. He finally got to me. I love everything about this place, the camaraderie, the respect, the friendship, the work ethic. Everything we do is top notch in this industry. As the farm manager, typical day starts out, some of us start getting here about 7 a.m. We start checking pumps, topping off, making sure the lights are all on, checking for any leaks. We have a great husbandry team that checks for calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, nitrate, phosphate, salinity, temperature, 2 or 3 times a week, which makes it really great for us to just be able to focus more on the corals. The aquaculture side differs from the wild side in that nothing can be moved over here without due process, dipping, quarantining, waiting, making sure that it's the strongest, brightest, most viable coral out of the batch. Yeah, it's literally just farming. There's not a lot of pests involved. There's not a lot of bacterial infections, fungal infections. It's probably the easiest aspect of what we do here at Worldwide Corals to run. This is a glass 750-gallon aquarium. It's connected to all of system 12, which entails 6 saltwater tubs that are connected all into one sump. We run a Octopus 3000 external skimmer. We run a Geo calcium reactor. Every tank is equipped with 4 MP40s. Some tanks, depending on what's in them, will either have 4 Gen 4 Pro radions or 3 Gen 4 Pro radions. Flow all differs depending on what's in there. This tank specifically is more catered to monoporas, chalices, blastos, pectinias, zoas. So this system's more of a mixed reef with our acros that were in there for grow out. A lot of them, these 3 systems are used for mixed reef stuff, but to be able to keep the quarantine for the aquaculture sustainable, one system will not have a certain type of coral. So this is system 12, it has acroporas in it. System 10 might not have acroporas because after we quarantine and hold everything for months and months on the wild side of the farm, to bring it over, we have to quarantine it one more time in a system that doesn't have the same species or type. As far as the lighting schedule, it's pretty fun. I wasn't a radion guy before I came here, not because I didn't like them, but just it wasn't my thing. I've learned a lot about them and I'm very impressed. The ability to change overall intensity, change each individual color, and duration and time and ramping. It's seemed overwhelming at first for me, but as you get into it, you realize that it's actually a pretty cool feature. So with this 750, being that it has SPS, I use a AB Plus modified schedule. I run it for about 13 hours with a half-hour ramp time on either end. The first 5 hours of the day, I will run both whites at 30%, the green at 30%, the red at 10%, and all the blues at 100%. And then ramp down, and then for the rest of the day till it shuts off, it's just 100% blues. So as far as maintenance on this, as I mentioned before, we have a great husbandry team. We don't necessarily have to do much as far as water changes or testing. But what's cool about it for me is that we get the data from the test results and we go over with the husbandry team how much water we want to change. Do we want to vacuum the sand? Do we want to do a bigger water change? Do we want to use GFO? Kind of where we want the nitrate, where we want the phosphate, where we want the alk, and we go from there and we work on it as a team. And it gives me a lot more time to focus on the corals, which I really appreciate. So as far as feeding here on System 12, we use the Worldwide Corals fish food. Then twice a week, we will do a mixture of foods and broadcast feed in every tub and the actual 750 glass, which will include phytoplankton, oyster feast, roe, some reef roids, calanus, aminos, and we just disperse it all throughout each system and kind of pull the filter pads out and let it just run for an hour or two, and then we throw the filter pads back on. The 750s are powered by Ecotech Vectra. As far as power heads, they utilize 2 MP60s on either side of the back wall of the peninsula. 2 of them run Reef Crest at 100%, so they're constantly changing. The other 2 are run in short pulse mode, and what that allows is to help change the flow intermittently and kick the detritus and other stuff out of the nooks and crannies of the rocks, which seems to be very beneficial and helpful. In all 3 of these tanks, we utilize a group of tangs. Our standard usually is Naso, Flamingi, Unicorn, purples, yellows, bristletooths. But this tank seems to stand out a little bit to me because we actually have a koi parrotfish in there. The parrotfish are known to chew on corals, but the koi seems to be one that is reef safe, and so far so good. But he's really cool to see people's reaction when they see a parrotfish. He's only about 8 inches long, but he's like a big wrasse. He's got a lot of personality, a lot of spunk, and yeah, that's probably my favorite thing in this aquarium. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time. We're going to be doing the rest of the 3 systems. It should be pretty exciting because they all differ immensely. Thank you. Woo-hoo! And I know there's a lot of controversy going on between Joe and Carlos's water box tanks, but nobody's got 3 750 gallons under their belt in this place. I'm the only guy.